What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? It's your boy G Waterz of Soul the Streets. And this episode, we have the talented Mr. Eric Leone. Welcome to the Soul the Streets, my brother.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here, man.
Man,
Glad
it's
to
a
be here.
pleasure. This week, the Soul the Streets, we're tapping into musicianship, the musicianship side of the culture. And I'm excited about it. It's not often we get to talk to, I hate to say, but real musicians.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's a real musician,
Yeah.
but in the sense of playing actual instruments, you know?
No,
So,
I totally get what you're
yeah.
saying.
So,
There's manufacturer ones and then there's the one that study the crafts.
right, and,
I
and
got
then
you.
there's you, and
Oh,
I'm on it. So
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So listen, you grew up surrounded by music through your parents. When did you first realize music was not just something around you, but something you were called to do?
I remember it being around 8 years old, and my father, he played in local bands. And one Saturday evening, I went to help him set up. And I don't know what possessed me, but he didn't like, how older parents are. You're 8 years old, don't touch my instrument.
I hear
Well,
that story a lot.
yeah. Yeah. So I got up on the stage and I picked up his guitar, strapped it up there, and I was actually strumming and singing. I didn't know any chords or anything, but I'm strumming and singing in the mic, and I it was almost like I was in a world of my own. And all the musicians that was in this band and everybody in the audience was just sitting there looking at me, staring in the club while I'm on stage. And I looked up and I thought, this is what I want to do. This is
Mm.
what I like to do. So right soon after that, he told me to put his guitar down, but
You
I
get
asked
Joe
him,
Jacksonized?
well, that's kind of like the story.
Okay. I mean, hey, I ain't
I
mad
mean,
at Joe. Joe did
he was
amazing. He did amazing. So hey, and we
he,
and,
he did do amazing. And the thing is that a lot of the fathers, I believe, back then was a little tougher on the kids back then. They're more disciplinaries, Marians,
Mhm.
Uh, you know, you have some fathers that are like, you know, crack that whip and get in here and practice and do all that kind of stuff. And I was always grateful, man. I always wanted to practice. The only problem I had, I believe, with my father, there was a lot of things he didn't know
Mm.
as a musician. He was self-taught.
Okay, okay.
So the only thing, and he was very smart. He would go around and ask other musicians, what should he teach me and all that kind of stuff. We couldn't afford music lessons or anything. Uh, my mother, uh, my mother played piano by reading. She didn't have any ears or anything. She was just playing church hymns.
Okay.
So she kind of knew what reading was all about. So he would go to her and ask her, and he would actually, sit there with the book for hours, like a half hour a day turned into about 4 hours during
Mm.
the evening. And because he wanted us to learn so bad, and he was learning as we went along as well. So, but uh, it panned out for me because that's something that I always wanted to pursue and always wanted to do. And then when I got older, I sought out music lessons all over the place, uh, instructors, and then I ended up going to music school. So that's how that began.
But how did that home foundation shape the way you hear music today?
Man, uh, it shaped me. It really shaped me. I mean, growing up, I'm telling my age now, but growing up in the
It's all good.
70s.
Oh, hey, that was a good time. I'm a '70s
Yeah,
baby, so that was a
yeah,
good time. Ain't nothing wrong with
yeah.
being,
No.
you know,
And let me tell you
a lot
something.
of
There
us
wasn't
aren't, a lot of people ain't make it.
a lot of people make it right. A lot of shows, there weren't a lot of black shows. There weren't a lot of black artists.
Mm.
Um, and we would be playing outside, and my parents would start yelling out the door, Eric, Joey, Sharice, and Laura, my sisters and brothers, come in the house. Tina Turner's on the TV,
Okay.
or Ray Charles,
Oh,
and it was like it was a special treat for us because we didn't see many black faces. doing entertainment. And when we saw those people, it was like, wow, it was just magical, man. It was just very magical,
Yeah,
you
that was a
know?
time. Definitely was a time. You
Yeah.
studied jazz guitar at Hartford Conservatory School of Music. What did that formal training give you that that raw talent alone could not?
Theory, a way to think about music, knowing what I'm doing and certain aspects of reading music or charts or whatever, um, helping me to get around charts
Hmm.
and and just the overall comprehension of music, help me write, help me learn certain tools that, you can use for writing.
Hmm.
You know, um, I still think there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, uh, because some of the older musicians, they were just phenomenal in what they did. It's almost like every decade we're missing more and more and more.
Hmm.
It's almost like
Hmm.
when you get you got software now, you can play chords with one finger, and those guys don't need to know music. You know what I mean? They don't know the inner workings of music or the potential or the possibilities. All they
Right.
go on is feel, and and I feel like that's a part of music that we are losing. Uh, I feel that way. I'm not sure. I mean, there's great musicians out there. There's a lot of musicians out there, and a lot of them know what they're doing. But there are some coming up. They don't see the importance of knowing it, of knowing what to do or how to do it, or how to do chord progressions or write songs, through diatonic harmonies, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, music is so much you can learn and use as a tool to your capacity. You know, it
Right.
doesn't mean you have to be the greatest, but you can still work
Understand it
and
greatly.
understand it. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Because I mean, it's a lot of people who aren't the greatest, but they understand it and they go on to be the greatest in what they do, even become greater than others.
Yeah, and I'm
Bigger
and
than
you're
them.
right. I'm not knocking the person. Let's say, for instance, the people that have ears.
Mhm.
I am not knocking those people.
Right.
I mean, I've seen some phenomenal players that never even picked up a book. And I seen a 3-year-old that could outplay a lot of people. I'm serious. I mean, I seen this kid get on the piano and look up at me and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening here? What is this spiritual thing going on here? Like, I just didn't understand that part of it. But as for people that don't have the ears, then they don't have perfect pitch or they don't have good ears. They're they're formal trained. You learn the tools that can actually get you there
Right.
and 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 be on that level. Be on that level. You
Nice.
know, I'm still learning. I'm
Good.
still learning every day.
We
I'm learning.
all we all are. That's the beauty about it all. Like
Yeah.
that's why I love music so much because you learn things that you just didn't know that you would learn. Like you listen to songs that you've been listening to all your life and you hear new things in them, and
Hmm.
it keeps it interesting, fun, and new.
Right.
Like
Right.
classics.
Right.
So you play piano, drums, bass, guitar, and saxophone. Sheesh.
Okay. Let me okay, so
That's a
uh,
lot.
yeah, yeah. So I started off with saxophone.
Okay.
Okay. And I put it down and started playing guitar.
So when you started playing saxophone, did you master playing it, or just could you play it,
Um,
or like
not
you just
until
tried
not
it, you just
until
tried it,
I
and you
couldn't
wasn't a
play
fan of
play.
it?
I tried it when I was 8 years old. I was doing the school thing with the saxophone.
Okay.
It got too heavy for me
Gotcha. Okay.
to lug it back and forth to school. So I gave up on that one. And then in my 20s, I picked it back up.
Okay.
And I
After
started,
that, muscles came back.
yeah, knowing the theory, I was able to apply what I knew to playing saxophone.
Mm.
Now, I'm not a great saxophone player at all, by all means.
But
I see my bio out there, and I'm like, there's a couple of things I'm starting to see with other because I have other people do the bios earlier on, and now it's all over the internet. And I'm like, what the hell? Now I do play drums.
Okay.
I do play piano. My mother was a pianist, you know. Now I could play chords, you know.
Okay.
I can play the blues scale, all that kind of stuff there. You know, I can figure it out, you know. But and I have played piano in bands and things like that when it was necessary for me to play when
Hmm.
they wanted bigger sound. But I have played drums in bands, you
Okay.
know. So, but I would never compare myself to the guys that are out there at this moment. I got to the point in my life I said, okay, you know, it's one thing being a jack of all trades, but what is your best instrument? What is the one you're gonna target? What is the one that you really love to play? And I literally like said to myself, I am not picking up another instrument. I'm just, you know, a lot of these younger folks, you know, I see some great players that could play both, you know, drums and keyboards and all that stuff, you know. But I normally do it when I write.
Okay.
That's what. So I use the tools of me playing uh, piano, even saxophone, or and you know, you use drum machine nowadays to get your point across, but play bass that to kind of you know get the gist of the song going and get the music. Then I'll probably bring in some real musicians, you know, somebody that's their forte. That's what they're really.
So you understand all the instruments,
Yes, I do.
okay. So,
I
but
do.
then you just feel. Then once it's time to finalize everything, you'll call in who you feel will be the best fit for it to bring it up all the way.
Yeah, when I do write my songs or songs that I write, you know, as far as my album is concerned, I have a producer, Ronnie Song, who's actually producing. He's in charge of the whole thing,
Hmm.
you know. And we get together and we, you know, the ideas mix our minds up a little bit. Sometimes he'll come up with a groove. He'll say, "Man, I like that track you did there. You know, let's try that." You know. And then it was funny because I said to him, we were in the state. I said, you know, hey, that track that I did, I don't really like it as much as that track that you did. You know, that kind of thing. You know, because you got to go with what you feel is the best at the
True.
moment. You know, so and I said to him, he says, but you know, he would say things like, he says, man, I don't know what you were thinking when you wrote that song because you're not even a keyboard player. You came out with these chords, and I said, I know, I don't. I said that was God, man. That's the spiritual side of it, you know.
Right. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. A
Yeah,
lot of artists sing or perform, but you come from real musicianship. How important is it for people to still value live musicians and real players?
I think it's very important. Is okay. Now we're in the age of AI, right? All right. There's a big conversation about embracing it.
Hmm.
All right, embracing it to what capacity? You know, I feel that yeah, you should embrace it because everybody's doing it, and a lot of people are going to get ahead of you if you don't embrace it to a certain degree,
Right.
right? But you still have to keep the live element in what you create, and you got to be able to perform it live. I've actually seen people who already did AI music, and you can easily tell it's not them because I know how they sound, you
Right.
know, but they're pushing it as them to that degree, and it's a different voice, and I'm like, how in the hell are they going to perform it live? What is that all about? You know,
Hmm.
now when you perform live, I mean, I can't imagine right now. What are we going to do when is AI going to take over live entertainment? I don't think so. How's
It's
that
gonna
going
be
to
like
happen?
a movie. It's like going to a movie to see a concert. It's gonna have to be a
Yeah,
pre-recorded type situation if they do that.
right. And I feel that this that's where we have to step up and kind of keep it alive
Hmm.
as far as playing live and through the mistakes and all, because nobody's really perfect live in most cases. There's a few guys that are perfect,
Right.
you know, but
They probably would say the
but
same thing like you said. I'm not perfect either. Like no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When I get out there and I play live, there was one thing I had to struggle with um, in my journey in playing live and being a musician is
Mhm.
having fun doing it.
Ooh, that's a
Because yeah, because I was always like, I want to be the best. I want to be good. I want to be this. And I get out there and I'm like, I'm so tense. And it's just like once you get on stage, you have to get to this point where there's no care in the world. You just got to have fun with what you're doing. And when you have fun with what you're doing, playing freely, just
yeah.
playing freely. And if you make a mistake, so what? Go get right back in there and do it, do what you do. You know, um, that's something that I struggled with for whatever reason. I don't know what that was, but I
Mhm.
struggled with that my earlier years, you know. Um, but I did a lot of performances. I did a lot of performances with other groups and
Mhm.
being out there live, and I knew that it was a necessity to do that as well. Um, I also believe I remember I played with a few people, and I remember telling this guy I was nervous for some reason. I was nervous playing with this guy. You hold some people in high standards,
Mhm.
and the guy looked at me. He goes, "You were nervous?" I said, "Yeah." I said I was nervous. He says, and he was like, "Well, good as you are." And I said, "Yeah, I was nervous." So, so then I thought about what the conversation was later
Mhm.
on, and that he found it hard that I was nervous. But I think my nervousness sometimes can be my ally to
Mm.
help be better. When
That's
you're
so
not
true. Like
nervous,
you're real. Like you're real at the end of the day. Like feelings, those feelings are real and
yeah,
necessary. Like, not arrogance and all that stuff,
right,
being nervous,
right,
it's cool.
yeah. So yeah, there's a reason to play live. You want to get all that stuff out of you, and you want to give the best performance you can when you're out there and doing it that way.
Sometimes the best performances includes a little mess up.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you're best in front. Hey, they leave things like that on records. They mess up on records and leave it on there because they would never be able to duplicate it again.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
I heard, I think it was Roberta Flack saying something about when Lauryn Hill recorded Killing Me Softly over. She's like, yeah, and they kept all the parts that I messed up on. And it was like this, I was like, what? What part was that?
Right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. What part was that?
Mess up
Uh,
right to the bank. Right
yeah,
to the top of the charts. We love it.
that's
Well,
right.
you have worked with names like Marion Meadows, Rainy Song that you just mentioned, Andre Ward, and the legend Miss Melba Moore. What did being around that level of talent teach you about professionalism?
That these people are really professional. They work hard at their craft
Hmm.
and at what they want to do. Um, and they're very, very humble people. I think sometimes when you're young and you're trying to go through the ranks, so to
Hmm.
speak, and you meet, local musicians that are arrogant and all that kind of stuff, and you know, um, they don't make you feel at ease. But then you get to the top of the crop there, the cream of the crop, and it's like, wow, they're so easygoing, they're so humble, they're so you know and they're professional. I see how they're moving and
Hmm.
getting their business going and keeping it going and all of them they gave me advice, you know and I cherish the advice that I get from them because they've been there, they've done it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well,
Yeah.
Ronnie's song recognized your versatility as a producer and songwriter. What did that moment do for your confidence as a creator?
Um, that there's a story when I said, "Hey man, why are you using me on this song when you can get so and so?" No, I said. He says, "Well, why would I want to do that when I got you?"
Mm,
And he boosted my confidence just like that, right through the roof, because I was like, he sees something
right,
in me.
right,
So, you know, uh, confidence, I call it like the eye of the tiger in a sense,
mhm,
because in other words, you got to have confidence and get out there on the stage and do your best and whatever you perform or recordings, whatever, try to be your best, but don't bring the arrogance because
right.
that can be misconstrued. Sometimes confidence could be misconstrued as arrogance. And I never saw any of that with the people that I've worked with. I never saw arrogance. I never saw it. Like you hear stories, but I never saw it. Not
Mhm.
yet anyway.
Right. Well, hopefully you don't.
And hopefully I don't.
Well, you co-wrote Night People for John White on Geffen Records. What do you remember most about that experience?
And I was very happy.
Right.
I was doing a lot of writing then, and that was a song that got chosen, uh, and then they produced it, and of course they took some things out, put some other things in, and all that kind of stuff. But then it worked out, and that's how it worked. And I was very happy about it because again, it was a reinforcement thing about I can do this. It is every step is a building block of confidence to a degree, you know.
That's true. But your music is described as being built around love and life. What does that mean to you when you sit down to create?
I want my music to resonate um, with people, you know. That the love portion of it is, you know, is what you put out there in the universe is you want to magnify that, uh, and by 10, you know, you want to spread love in a sense. You want people to love it because that's how it was in the 70s. I mean, we just love those songs back in the day. And there's not a lot of songs out there today that I really love. And I'm not saying that I'll try my best to get that across
Mm-hmm.
in the music that we put out, uh, Ronnie Song and I, uh, that we we want to spread that feeling,
Okay.
and then life is just, you know, a perpetual motion going forward and continue to do it, you know. Um, and you got to move forward. Life is about moving forward
True.
and touching the hearts of other people.
True. Well, you're doing that. And smooth jazz and R&B both carry emotion, both in different ways. How do you balance the groove, the melody, and the feeling?
The groove, the melody, and the feeling. So I guess, is it sexy? Does it feel sexy? The the groove has to be like a feeling, man. Like again, yeah, you have to have a feeling when you're performing in front of people, and whatever you write has to have that feeling that could give that. that groove where you're just seeing everybody bopping their heads or whatever,
Right, and you
and they're
see that
enjoying
feeling
it.
that the music that you created on the faces of
Right,
the people and the movements within the people in the audience.
right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I
and
always wonder, like, when certain artists come out with some music or whatever, I wonder if they felt that feeling that I felt when they created it.
I know I'm sure they have,
Yeah, I just feel like you just like how
and then
cause some songs be like, oh man, I wonder when they was in the like after they finish recording their background vocals, like are they in the studio like, oh man, this is like
yeah, yeah, yeah. um I don't know. I think that's me, I tend to run the songs by everybody.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think? You know,
But like, what about yourself when you're recording a song? Like how, like I love background vocals. So like when I hear like some fresh, nice harmonies and just plush, and it just sounds so beautiful. Like I just like, oh. So when I'm creating them as well, it's like I'm like, okay, I feel it. I feel it as well. But like for yourself, like, do you like, oh yeah, they're gonna when you putting your vocals together, are you like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the part where they just really just fall into the harmonies and like, do you feel that as you're creating those parts in your music?
I do. I do. I
Okay.
try to go off a feeling. I know the technical parts of it and how to put the harmonies together, and at the same time, is it what does it feel like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if it feels good to me, I'm like, I better check my barometer with somebody else now, somebody that I respect,
Right.
somebody that I know that's gonna be honest with me because I love the honesty, whether
Hmm.
it's bad or good. I love it because what that does for me, and a lot of people can't take criticism, but what it does for me, if the guy, I have to know the person that the criticism is coming from,
Okay.
the, because I know that person has a good heart, he's not going to steer me wrong,
Right.
or
Right. Right.
she's not going to steer me wrong. So I don't ask everybody,
Right.
and the other side of it, I'll probably ask more than a few people, and then I'll have the final decision, weigh in on it, on what I would like to do, to make it happen.
Yeah, that makes sense because at the end of the day, you have to perform it and feel it on the stage. So sometimes everyone could be not on the same page of the feeling that you need to get out,
That's right.
and then it works, and it's
Then it works.
like,
It'd be awesome if I just had my finger on the pulse and just like, yeah, I did this. And I know it's gonna work. I'm not that kind of writer or that person or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, I go with what my heart is saying to me, and I try to go, you know, forward with that. You
Nice.
know,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, in today's music climate, where everything is moves fast, what keeps you committed to music with soul, musicianship, and depth?
You said depth?
Depth, depth. Yeah,
Yeah, depth.
DEPTH. Depth. I always
Okay.
forgot that. I don't know why. I,
Okay.
like
Um,
it's over.
what keeps me going is the love for the music. That's the only thing that keeps me going. I mean, like I sometimes I could pick up my guitar, man, and next thing I know, it's like 5 hours just went by, and I thought it was 1 hour.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm like, what is going on here, man? And then I feel like I don't, I love music, but unfortunately, and I said unfortunately because music is not all about just playing music. You got to work and you got to get out there and make some money at it. Or you got to work, get out there and get a job and play music too, one
Right.
or the
Right.
other. Um, and the thing is that, um, I wish, it's not that easy, especially as you get older and you get to the point where you have to go out and work. You're not a teenager anymore.
Hmm.
You just can't sit there and play your guitar all day, you know. And if you can get that break and you can get your foot in the door and make money at it, then you can make a living at it.
Right.
Um, like I said, unfortunately, I had to learn part of the business. I had to get into the business side, Um, by nature, I'm a homebody. I'd
Okay.
rather be home, you know. But I also knew that in order for me to get gigs, I had to go out. I had to sit in on jam sessions. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to force myself to go out. There's been numerous times and earlier on in my life where I was like, oh man, I don't want to go out, but I got to get out there, you know? And I
Okay.
got out there, and then slowly but surely, I started getting gigs and started getting offers and gigs here and gigs here. And I got to the point where I had to turn away some gigs,
Mm.
because I was working too much. And
And
then
did it,
because it took me off the focus of the big picture of writing and getting to a higher level.
did the stage ever eventually become your home? Or that's those spaces, did it ever become your home as far as just being a musician?
Um, a few times, a couple of
Okay.
times. And then I had to go back to work.
And then that work had to become your home.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
it's good, it's
multiple
good.
homes. Multiple
Yeah,
homes.
yeah.
You have
Hmm.
performed at the Hartford Jazz Festival with Marion Meadows. What does the stage bring out of you that the studio does not?
The live performances are different because it's creativity for me right then and there on the spot.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, Again, through my fledgling career, I've played rooms where there was maybe two people in the room. And then I played rooms or places where there was thousands of people. And there's something to be said about the energy that comes back. There's something there with the musicians, I believe. You tend to play better. When the room is bigger, you're like,
Hmm.
wow, I'm gonna put on a great show tonight. I can feel the energy, you can feel it all. And I think it's frequency. I think it has something to do with frequency, you know. And and that's what I feel with playing live,
Okay.
you know. When people are especially when they love what you do, and you can't worry about that when you're playing live. You just go out there and do the best you can do. But
Mhm.
when they're reciprocal, it's like the energy. And I'm sure every musician feels that. I'm sure they all feel it.
True. For someone hearing Eric Leone for the first time, what record or performance best introduces who you are?
Hmm. My mood is pretty much one of my favorite ones.
Why that one for yourself?
I think that was more musician song.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, my solos was more. It's musical, but it's more of a musician type thing. I'm not. And then and the other songs, they're all good too. I mean, Night Breeze is good. Um,
Yeah, a lot of good ones.
Blue Hills is good.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I mean, that's a hard question, actually, man. Blue Hills has a real sexiness to it. They're all different. They're all different, and I like that part of it as well.
But this has
Uh,
an I mean, because we're gonna eventually get to all of them anyway. But this the first
yeah.
one that you would say this is the one that I would want to just be the one that I would think that this would be the one that people just listen for the first time. If they got 5 songs and they don't know which one to pick first, like what you saying, my mood is the one that you would hope that people.
I don't know because Imagine
That's a
is
good one
on.
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
saying.
so in Love is good. All I mean, the
So
four
in
that
love.
all the ones that I have are pretty good. But I was also familiar with Imagine and So in Love from
Yeah,
Melba.
Melba Moore. Yeah.
Yeah. So but the other ones, it's one. I think it's the. Oh my God! I just finished listening to it. You're gonna see the one when I play it on the show.
Okay.
You're gonna
Okay.
get the tags because it was. I don't think it was the Hills. It was. Oh man, what was the name of that song? I just finished listening to it, and I can't give you the
There was
name.
My Mood when I
My
got
mood,
on.
my
Yeah.
mood, Hills, and it wasn't Imagine a Song Love. So it had to. It's between those two. My mood and the Hills. I think it was my mood. My mood. It's like that one felt real moody and it felt kind of like the OJ's. It felt like it kind of gave me like that good. That's like man, it felt like home. That
Well, you know, uh, 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 that's a remake.
really.
Yeah. MFSBs.
See, so I was okay, cause
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's the one. Okay,
That's
okay,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like,
So
yeah. I just felt like I was ready to go back in and get a like I was back in the days
has
of the
that,
cookout.
yeah, has that nostalgia feel,
Yeah, that
you
barbecue,
know?
that good family reunion music.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one that kind of creeps up on you in a
Hmm.
sense. Like it doesn't it gets you right away, but you hear it, you're like
It felt
moving
like
to it.
family. It felt like it reminded me of family. Like it just when family was together and I mean, 'cause, being in the '70s, that's when my
Yeah, yeah,
family
yeah,
worked
yeah.
together,
Cookouts.
and that's when I would see it. That's when everybody would see each other, and this is the
Right.
type of music that would be played. So
Right.
it just brought
Right.
back that feeling, and it was dope. So yeah, that one,
Yeah.
that was the one that I heard first.
Yeah.
The first music I got. So I would say that one. That's the one I'm gonna be supporting.
Yeah. 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 That's a remake. And ah man,
Great
that's
job, great job.
thank
Great job. I gotta listen to the original one. I don't know if I'm familiar with the original, but I'm gonna go back and listen to it and see if I am or not.
yeah. Mother, father, sister, and brother. The MFSBs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you have spent time as an instrumentalist, producer, songwriter, and now solo artist. Which version of Eric Leone feels the most complete right now?
Hold on a second. Cut my Alexa. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
The version,
She want to answer for you.
Alexa canceled. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um, yeah, all of it is encompassed in what I am today. Um, I utilize every facet still to this day,
Okay.
but I love performing as well. And growing up, we had my sisters and brothers and I had a group, and that's all we did was perform. You know.
Okay. So they sing and write as well, sing and play instruments?
I Yes, both my sisters are pianists. Every now and then, my one of my sisters put it down.
Okay.
My other sister, um, she dabbles back and forth. She has a piano in her house, so she'll play every now and then.
Okay.
And my brother used to play the bass, and when he picked it up, it was like he was just a natural, man. He just picked it up. But
You're the
then,
youngest?
I'm sorry,
You're the youngest?
I am the second oldest. The two
Oh,
girls I am, and my brother is older than me by 13 months.
okay.
So my my brother, life got lifey and they all moved on,
Mhm.
and they didn't want to do it anymore, you know. So they chose their direction and what they wanted to do in life. We were kids, it was cute.
Yeah, I get it. I
But
get it.
it was our learning uh part of our lives, to be in front of an audience and I would say it's like sports, man. Music, being out there performing, sports builds character. It helps you in life, whether you know it or not.
Hmm.
When you could be, conversating with somebody and it's a business deal or whatever. It helps build character for you to be confident. And that's what sports and music does for you. you know.
True.
So yeah, so they went on, and I pursued music because I loved it so much. And yeah, the best version of me right now is where I am right now.
Well, I'm glad to have you here then.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That this is what
Thank
we
you,
pushing.
Chief.
We pushing you right now, Eric. So it's going on.
Hmm.
When people walk away from your music, what do you want them to feel in their heart and spirit?
Well, first of all, I hope they feel the love that's
They will feel
resonating.
after listening to the music. They will definitely feel that. If they have any
Yeah,
love in them, they will feel it.
yeah. And hopefully they say, boy, is he coming around this area anytime soon? I would love to go out and see him.
Now that's a good
So
one.
yeah, that's a good one, right?
Yeah, nobody's ever said that. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
That should be the main answer to that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because uh we got to make a living. And
Yeah,
we're
that's the
yeah,
proof. The
and,
proof is in the pudding. So the music is.
yeah,
Everybody say the music is good. The music is good, but are you gonna actually come out and
you're gonna actually
support?
come and support. And nowadays we really do need that support. Going back to original question, AI and live music.
Hmm.
We really need that. We need that. And now is a time for us, it's not, I guess there's not many record companies out there. And everybody's putting out music on their own.
Hmm.
So this gives us a chance um as individual musicians to get out there and really make something of ourselves, make something happen, and without all the all the middlemen and all that kind of stuff, all that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, and yeah, I have a team of people. I'm working with Melvin Morris people, and man, it's a team. I believe in teams of people working together as well. You need that team.
Yes.
You can't do everything on your own. You really can't.
You can't. You really
And
can't. You
you
can't.
know, and I don't get me wrong, like I love Prince. Prince was like when Prince came out, Prince. But the problem with that is that everybody became a prince. Like everybody started producing themselves and not using other ideals from different people.
Hmm.
And it was all about them. And that, to me, I saw that as a potential, which was a problem with certain individuals
Right.
at the time. Whereas you can create better when you have different people in there. That fusion comes into play. You create different sounds and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And
And it's
and
great
one,
that you mentioned Prince. Like now, when I listen to like podcasts, I was listening to Questlove, and he was talking to the band members of Prince, and they were saying how they were still, even though he got a lot of the credit, like they would be a part of the creative
oh
team.
yeah,
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 so
I'm
it's like,
starting to hear.
yeah, so he's now that he's passed on, everyone is talking, and we're
Yeah,
learning like it wasn't just all Prince, even though
it
he
wasn't just all
told
him.
us it's Prince, but it was,
No,
so
I
that's
think I think it in the very beginning,
mm-hmm.
it was it either that or they marketed
Bro, like,
him.
how can you come out with a song, an album every year, like by yourself, or like
Ideals,
double albums,
right?
movies, doing all this stuff
Mhm.
by yourself? Like, you gotta have, there's gotta be some type of help.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I think when he first came out with his first album,
The first album, he did it all by
it
himself.
it had to be all him because there's a story out there about get a record company getting Maurice Starr to produce him or something like
Hmm.
that. And he goes, nobody's producing me.
Mm.
And then he created a hit, which was I Want to Be a Lover.
Yeah, that was
I'm
a good one.
sorry. Yeah. So I think his first two albums, he
Did it by
I think
himself.
he did it by himself. But then I think he did draw from a lot of ideals, and
Oh
and
yeah,
we didn't know that until after he passed.
right. Because they
A
would
lot of
probably
people,
had their own type of NDAs to not talk.
right, right. But a lot of musicians back in the day didn't know it because all we heard was, oh, this guy plays 20 instruments and he's
I
doing it
think
all by
that's what kind
himself.
of stuff is the game though, because now it's a lot of people was raised on this notion that he did everything himself, and that wasn't the case. Like, so he gets props that he should get, but then he gets
Right,
props that he shouldn't get because it
right,
wasn't really
It
all him,
wasn't
but
really him,
now and not
right?
everyone is gonna hear the. You gotta search to learn these new stories
Yeah, yeah,
about him and about the creativity. It's great. It was great for me to hear it, but I was like, okay, so he didn't do it. Okay, I
yeah,
was saying to myself, it's just he came out too often, and he worked
yeah,
too hard. Like too many tours, too many like movies, the
yeah.
movies, everything, the women, everything, the looks. Like he had too much going on just to, and it was too,
That
you know,
his personal management had to be running around for him while he was in the studio, taking care of every aspect, every minute of his life, if that was the case.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
but I mean, there are stories that, you rehearse for 8 hours, then you get in the studio for another 10 hours, and then you wake up in the morning, he's rehearsing again.
It's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
After everything that I've heard,
Mm,
it was good for the time. It was a good story to be
right,
sold.
right. It's a
But
good
like,
story for the time,
yeah,
which
but
caught, which creates the
just thank
mystique.
God we got the
Yeah,
time from
yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
So it worked
So,
out.
but I think what I was really trying to say, and not knocking all those people during
Never.
that era, that time,
Hmm.
is that I think the stories that we heard, everybody was trying to do it themselves that weren't, they were just local. They didn't want to come together and create that, fuse that music or work together. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It was almost like, no, I'm doing it on my own because I'm like a prince, you know what I mean? And I think that hurt a lot of individuals
I
earlier
think
on.
so too. I think
Yeah,
so too. I think
yeah,
so too. What
yeah.
is one as we close it out? What is one thing about you that your fans and supporters would be surprised to learn that would just be like, what? This is you into this?
Oh, wow. Uh, Surprisingly, that question was asked. Again, this is the second time hearing this. Uh, Prized about me. Surprise. I don't know.
But there's no surprises.
I personal train. You know, I stay fit. I try to stay in the fitness. I don't know
Okay.
if that's a surprise or not. Uh,
What
I don't
surprises
know.
yourself about yourself? What
It,
surprises you about yourself?
uh, oh man, that's a tough question, man. I'm not surprised about, I'm very in tune to who I am, you
Okay.
know, and I kind of know what I want, you know. Um, I try to stay focused, I don't look left, I don't look right. I try to go straight. The one thing about me is that if I see a negative person in my life, I run the other way. Boom, I'm
Mm.
gone, you know, because I'm okay. Here's something. I'm big on energy. Energy.
Okay.
I'm big on energy, vibrations, frequencies, all that kind of stuff. I'm big on all that stuff. I meditate. Um, I try to stay in tune with my body and in tune with what I feel at the time. Um, Almost to the point where if somebody is around me, are they good for me or are they not good for me? That kind
Mm.
of. And if they're not good for me, I'll probably kind of pull back, step back a little bit, and as everybody should,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then move forward this way and just stay focused. You know, um, uh, that's what I'm big on, uh,
Okay.
and I try to stay that way. I try to keep myself geared towards that way, and try to stay positive as much as possible, in spite of everything else that's going on right now with us. I
Okay.
love history. That's
Okay.
the
I
other
like
side.
it. That's
Yeah,
good.
I love history. I study. I try to study history as much as I can to try to get an understanding of where we are today. You know,
Hmm.
um, and far as and not just Black history. I study all history because I'm trying to get a feel for why where we are today
As a people.
as a people. And So that's very important to me. Um, yeah, there's, I don't know, I guess you could say I'm a boring guy, man,
Well,
besides
not,
music.
not not so much. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I'll say
Mm,
you are Eric Leone, who has been very successful and makes great music and puts his all in it. And we're here supporting
yeah.
and just wanting to see it flourish, continue to flourish, and be
Yeah.
great. I mean, that's doesn't
Yeah.
sound boring to me. Sounds like you're pretty damn busy.
Thank you, G. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And yeah, yeah, it's I'm gonna always be on this journey. I know that for the rest of my life,
But
you
it's a
know.
beautiful journey, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be here on it with you on the Soul of the Streets. How can the
Okay.
people find you on social media?
Well, they can find me all on YouTube. They can go to Eric Leone Facebook. They can follow me there.
Mhm.
I don't put any of my personal life on there. It's just Eric Leone. And yeah, you can follow me. I'm all over the place. You can go to Instagram. I'm there too. That's my
Okay.
presence on social media.
Cool. Well, this has been a pleasure getting to know you and talking about your journey and
Same
learning
here.
about your story and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
can't wait for this one to come out because it's gonna be a good one for musicians and just music lovers to see how it's really done and from the people that's creating this music.
Well, thank you, man. I'm glad to be of some assistance, and I'm thankful for you to have me on, first of all.
Yeah, big
And
shout out to Verge, man. I'm glad that he put sent the music and all that stuff. So really good.
mm,
I can't wait to get it on the playlist, and you'll be getting my alerts of the support, and we're gonna be jamming.
yeah, yeah. And reach out to me anytime, man.
We'll do. We'll do. Thank you,
I'm
man.
here.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Have a great day, and keep the music alive.
All right. All right, brother.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.